Well, hello there, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about infrastructure modernization. Chad Warner, IT manager at KraftCPAs, is our guest. KraftCPAs is one of the largest independent CPA firms in Middle Tennessee. They provide tax, audit, and accounting services. Chad, glad to have you on board here. And Chad, I want to set the stage for our listeners here. KraftCPAs recently decided to consolidate legacy infrastructure into HPE Synergy. So I want you to walk us through kind of what was going on at KraftCPAs that led you to reach out for a solution like HPE Synergy. What are some of the gains that you were hoping to achieve at a high level?
Well, my team, just three of us, and we're responsible for all the day-to-day technical operations at Kraft. So from day-to-day end-user support all the way to network infrastructure, server and storage support, all under our daily responsibilities. So over the last several years, keeping up with all the separate pieces of our compute and storage infrastructure has become a challenge and almost a burden on all of us. Multiple management interfaces, multiple monitoring points, complex maintenance were all the tipping points to start looking for a solution that could bring all of that together and take the strain off that aspect of our business, because we were spending quite a bit of time managing and maintaining our compute and storage.
As you lay that out to me, it sounds like a story I've heard from a lot of teams these days, right? A little bit of technology sprawl, so wanted to consolidate little things. We'll go deeper into some of the gains you were hoping to achieve. We'll get into a little more detail in a few moments, but at the high level, can you outline what was your top one or two things you were hoping to gain then by looking at something like HPE Synergy?
Most of my mornings start with multiple tabs and multiple tools open to try and piece things together. So having that single picture, so maybe that single tab to where I can go and see all the performance and monitoring and how things are just overall health of the system, that was one thing for sure. You know, we always have our alert notifications set up on all the separate pieces, like most people do, but those only trigger once things are broken. We were looking at that one piece where we could go and see how things were working.
One of the pieces of feedback that I've heard about software-defined management systems like HPE Synergy is the time saver for IT teams. So let me ask you this. Once you started exploring and said, hey, I'm looking at HPE Synergy, I think this is going to fit for us. Did you have some type of expectation about how some of that time saving might play in and what that impact might be on your daily operations?
Well, I like to have an idea of how things are performing across our infrastructure, and gathering that information currently is just very tedious. So with Synergy, I get the true out-of-band management and visibility of all my server infrastructure. And couple that with their ability to make changes automatically before an alert can even occur, I just gained hours of my time to work on other projects to help the business grow.
Well, then that begs me to ask, what are either now able to focus on that you weren't able to, and are there some other projects, some other things that either yourself or the two other that are on your team that you can say, wow, I can put their time towards this now?
Always policies, whether it be disaster and recovery planning to security, cybersecurity programs, those are hot topics right now. So having the resources available for my time and for my team's time to work on that is valuable.
One of the aspects of HPE Synergy is pooling and provisioning IT resources for any workload demand. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the workload improvements that, again, you're kind of hoping to gain here and how you think that's really going to have a big impact on KraftCPA's business moving forward? You're the IT team, but the idea is supporting that business. So what can you share there?
Kraft gets into a lot of litigation support. So there's times that we answer the phone, it's a lawyer on the other end, and we end up with a project that may require us to accommodate a large amount of data for analysis. And that lawyer's going to call us, and if we're not ready to handle it, then they're just going to call the next person in their contact. So with our current infrastructure, that can be stressful time for us scrambling to determine if we can support that influx of data. Synergy's fluid resource pools, that process will become trivial and allow me to get fast, accurate depiction of what I can available to allocate and where I should allocate it to handle that data influx. It gives me more confidence in our IT ability to say yes to them on their demands rather than let me check on it.
Let me check. Maybe I'm not sure. Please don't contact me again.
Right.
Oh, I hear you. What I'm also hearing so far in our conversation, a lot of what you're talking to, some of these time savings, this one pane of glass, et cetera. It's this idea of digital transformation. And I know it's a major IT initiative for a lot of companies out there. And one of the reasons they're looking to do it is to stay relevant, to maybe even find that competitive advantage within their space. Do you see HPE Synergy as part of that, helping you kind of accelerate some of the digital change going on there at KraftCPAs?
Well, in my position, I want to always try and stay one or two steps ahead of where I think Kraft's business may be going. So I don't want my lack of planning or foresight to be the reason we don't get a large proposal or unable to deliver on an existing project. So Synergy gives me the ability to easily optimize our environment for any of those demands quickly and efficiently through its single management interface and unified API.
Let's do this. One of the things I love hearing from folks like yourself is kind of how these deployments are taking place and what the process is. And your team collaborated with TSA on this HPE Synergy deployment. So tell me a little bit about kind of the expertise that TSA brought to the table that maybe you, your colleagues didn't have. Kind of what value were they bringing at the implementation level?
Well, TSA is special since they're a HPE Platinum partner. So they're not only took me through the decision process, but they will take me all the way through the implementation and support after that, which I think is critical and special to them. We talked, they listened to my issues, they brought the right people to talk to me in, they brought the right solution to the table. So having a partner I can work with closely versus being a number in a queue is very important.
Chad, you brought up the idea of TSA being a HPE Platinum partner. As an IT leader, someone's making the decisions, is that really one of the top things on your checklist, maybe in the top 5 of, well, if I'm working with somebody, they have to have this? Is that something you always look for?
I think so, because that gives them access to all the underlying support that HPE offers, that gives them fast track support, the trainings, the knowledge, things like that frankly I don't have time to sit around and learn myself, so that I can have normal discussions with them on things that are bothering me or things that I'm having trouble with, and they know all the underlying stuff and can kind of piece together some things to solve those issues for me without me just spending days on end reading white papers and trying to make sense of it myself.
I mentioned at the beginning we'd come back to some of these gains, and so I want to talk about these gains, these benefits that you were hoping to get here. And again, HPE Synergy combines a bunch of things: compute, brings in the storage, the fabric, all the resources are available to run any application. So let's talk about in a little more detail some of the benefits that you were hoping that the whole KraftCPA org could get from this infrastructure orchestration. Let's start with short-term gains. A little more detail here. What were you hoping for, within initial, days, weeks, in terms of thinking about the deployment, and then, let's push that maybe to a 6-month time frame. What were those short-term gains that you're hoping to see?
Really just to tidy up our data center infrastructure and the operation of it. So, everything's kind of, I got this piece that does this and this piece that does that, and I've got physical over here, and I've got part of it over here. So just kind of to tidy that up for sure. The management and day-to-day monitoring will be drastically improved to allow us to focus on those other projects I mentioned.
All right, Chad, so that's your short-term gains you're looking for. What about longer term, when we're looking many months, years out? What are you looking for there?
Well, as Kraft grows and the business needs change, I think the true benefit of Synergy's composable infrastructure will be realized. So Synergy has the ability to really take any specific or even changing workload and allows us to optimize that and deliver it fast and efficiently. And we can say yes to those technology demands that business may bring our way.
Hey, well, good stuff there, Chad. I do appreciate you joining all of us here today. I want to thank you for being here. Great learning more about how TSA and KraftCPAs really worked together to select HPE Synergy, and enjoyed hearing some of the benefits you expect to gain. Best wishes on that. Appreciate all of you taking time to join us for this conversation as well. Any of our listeners, if you're looking to learn more about how TSA can help you decide if HPE Synergy is right for your business, you can reach out and talk to them them on the phone, 1-800-422-4872. Again, the number 800-422-4872 to get on the line with TSA. With that, we're going to wrap things up. Do appreciate you all listening, and we do look forward to talking to you all down the road.